Let's take a look at the teachings of John chapter 6, verse 27. Do not work for food that spoils, but for food that endures to eternal life, which the Son of Man will give you. On him, God the Father has placed his seal of approval. Then they asked him, what must we do to do the works God requires? Jesus answered, the work of God is this, to believe in the one he has sent. So they asked him, what miraculous sign then will you give that we may see it and believe you? By this they meant, what is the sign that we may see and believe that you are the one who came down from heaven? What will you do? God made manna come down from heaven for 40 years. God showed this amazing and miraculous work to our forefathers. Can you do the same for us? Many Jews asked Jesus this question. Let us continue with verse 32. Jesus said to them, I tell you the truth, it is not Moses who has given you the bread from heaven, but it is my Father who gives you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of God is he who comes down from heaven and gives life to the world. Sir, they said, from now on give us this bread. Then Jesus declared, I am, who is Jesus? The bread of life. He who comes to me will never go hungry, and he who believes in me will never be thirsty. Even though Jesus gave them these words, in verse 36 he said, but as I told you, you have seen me, and still you do not believe. Although Jesus came to this earth and made it easy for mankind to understand him, the religious people at that time did not believe in him because he came in the flesh as a man just like us. Then today, in order to fully understand this scene, we need to know about manna. In history, God rained down manna from heaven for the Israelites for 40 years, didn't he? Let us turn to Exodus chapter 16, verse 31. The people of Israel called the bread manna. It was white like coriander seed and tasted like wafers made with honey. Moses said, this is what the Lord has commanded. Take an omer of manna and keep it for the generations to come, so they can see the bread I gave you to eat in the desert when I brought you out of Egypt. So Moses said to Aaron, take a jar and put an omer of manna in it. Then place it before the Lord to be kept for the generations to come. As the Lord commanded Moses, Aaron put the manna in front of the testimony that it might be kept. The Israelites ate. What did they eat? They ate manna 40 years until they came to a land that was settled. The Israelites ate food called manna, which is the bread from heaven, while they wandered in the desert during their 40-year journey. Jesus is explaining the matter of eternal life in John chapter 6 by using the history of manna as a comparison. Let us turn to John chapter 6, verse 49. Your forefathers ate the manna in the desert, yet they died. Let us continue with verse 51. I am the living bread that came down from heaven. If anyone eats of this bread, he will live forever. This bread is my flesh, which I will give for the life of the world. Then the Jews began to argue sharply among themselves. How can this man give us his flesh to eat? Jesus said to them, I tell you the truth, unless you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, what do you not have? You have no life in you. Jesus said, I am the reality of the manna. Verse 54. Whoever eats my flesh and drinks my blood has, what does he have? Eternal life. And I will raise him up at the last day. For my flesh is real food and my blood is real drink. Whoever eats my flesh and drinks my blood remains in me and I in him. Just as the living Father sent me and I live because of the Father, so the one who feeds on me will live because of me. Jesus is the tree of life. Jesus is also the manna of life. Through these parables recorded in the Bible, it is testified and confirmed about who Jesus is.